This is Getting On with Life, Biblical Wisdom for Successful Christian Living. This title is, Why Is It So? Mid-last century, quirky American physicist Professor Julius Sumner Miller was featured on children's programs stimulating interest in science with his question, Why is it so? Much of science is based on inquiry into what things are and how they work. So the question, why is it so, is a great foundation for scientific investigation. However, there is a problem with asking why when one ignores the answer or the evidence. Scientists made the determination long ago that science would be limited to only that which could be tested and verified in the material world. This is the mindset of materialism, based on the assumption that only material things exist. It was a way of ignoring God and teaching the world to be secular instead of God-fearing. The continued focus on materialist thought and scientific study is that nothing happens without a material cause and explanation. That leads to rejection of God, the supernatural, and miracles. And that's why so many people tend to ignore the Bible with its many accounts of miraculous events in answer to prayer. And of course, it focuses greatly on the reality of God, spirits, blessings, curses, and the miraculous. So now we have a conundrum, a strange situation where people ask, why is it so, but ignore the answer and the evidence. Scientific and academic thought keeps seeking a natural explanation to things that are supernatural. And so these minds become blind to the truth while parading as the greatest minds. What folly! We have in our world today an ignorance that is cherished, promoted, and protected, as if being blind and ignorant is being better than being honest and real. This ties in with the verse about people ever learning but never coming to the knowledge of the truth. That's 2 Timothy 3:7, where it says, always learning but never able to come to a knowledge of the truth. My wife was challenged in her school years by a girl in her class who wanted to prove her superiority. The girl thought my wife would be easy to beat and challenged her to an arm wrestle. What the girl did not realize is that by learning piano and playing tennis, my wife had strong forearms. My wife beat and humbled the braggart girl. But what happens when the unexpected takes place? People come up with an excuse. You tricked me. You pushed me. That was unfair, and so on. People need an excuse to cover for their hurt pride. When evidence has come up over the years to support the Bible, it has been ignored or sidelined by researchers and academia. Why? Because it undermines the ground they stand on. It is at times suggested that some Old Testament writings are more recent than their supposed origination date. It is suggested they were doctored by the early church. However, discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls brought to light ancient manuscripts which show clearly that the suspect documents are genuinely from ancient times. The choice to be blind to evidence keeps creeping in. When someone prays and their problem is solved, the materialistic mind refuses to accept that God exists, hears prayers, and answers them, so they search for an explanation. Materialist minds can't believe God opened the sea for the Israelites and then drowned the Egyptian army. When it came to light that the word Red Sea could be translated Reed Sea, those scoffers proudly announced they had proof there was no opening of the sea. The Israelites, they suggested, simply walked through shallow water. That, however, doesn't explain how an army drowned in that water, but it gave scoffers great delight anyway. What those scoffers ignored is that the Red Sea, which could be called the Reed Sea, was deep enough for sailing ships to set off for far-off lands. That fact is an inconvenient truth for them, so it is ignored. Sadly, the blindness of materialism prevails in science and academic thought. Men and women are brainwashed into ignoring the truth and chasing the wind. It's called science, but it is not the honest asking of, why is it so, but a pretended study of reality while ignoring the very serious reality of God in our world. Why do some people get blessed and others miss that blessing? Because of God and people's relationship with Him. Why do nations rise and fall? Because of God and people's relationship with Him. Why do people escape tough situations and find a place of strength and protection? Because of God and people's relationship with Him. Why is it so? Because God is God and man is accountable to Him. Because God has made a plan and those who follow it have a different outcome to those who reject it. Because God provides blessings and has given us amazing promises, and those who receive God's goodness by faith get to enjoy it. My friends, don't be fooled by scientists who have their eyes closed. Don't be fooled by experts whose greatest skill is to ignore truth. Don't be fooled by materialists who want to convince you they are right. Be wise. Be aware. Be filled with the truth of God's reality and God's great graces available to you when you trust Him. And because you believe in God and know Him to be all the Bible says He is, you can be ever ready to answer the question, why is it so? God bless you.